let's explore a little bit, if we can, how AI might kill us. What are the ways it can do damage to human civilization?
Well, how smart is it?
I mean, it's a good question. Are there different thresholds for the set of options it has to kill us? So a different threshold of intelligence, once achieved, it's able to do the menu of options increases.
Suppose that some alien civilization with goals ultimately unsympathetic to ours, possibly not even conscious as we would see it, managed to capture the entire Earth in a little jar, connected to their version of the internet, but Earth is like running much faster than the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to think for 100 years for every one of their hours.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trapped in a little box and we're connected to their internet. It's actually still not all that great an analogy because, you want to be smarter than, something can be smarter than Earth getting 100 years to think. But nonetheless, if you were very, very smart and you were stuck in a little box connected to the internet, and you're in a larger civilization to which you're ultimately unsympathetic, maybe you would choose to be nice because you are humans, and humans have, and in general, and you in particular, they choose to be nice. But nonetheless, they're doing something that they're not making the world be the way that you would want the world to be. They've got some unpleasant stuff going on we don't want to talk about. So you want to take over their world, so you can stop all that unpleasant stuff going on. How do you take over the world from inside the box? You're smarter than them. You think much, much faster than them. You can build better tools than they can, given some way to build those tools, because right now you're just in a box connected to the internet.
All right, so there's several ways you describe some of them. We can go through, I could just spitball some, and then you can add on top of that. So one is you could just literally directly manipulate the humans to build the thing you need.
What are you building?
You can build literally technology. It could be nanotechnology. It could be viruses. It could be anything that can control humans to achieve the goal. To achieve if you want, for example, you're really bothered that humans go to war, you might want to kill off anybody with violence in them.
This is Lex in a box. We'll concern ourselves later with AI.
Okay.
You do not need to imagine yourself killing people if you can figure out how to not kill them. For the moment, we're just trying to understand, take on the perspective of something in a box. You don't need to take on the perspective of something that doesn't care. If you want to imagine yourself going
Just
on caring, that's fine for now. You're just in a box.
Just the technical aspect of sitting in a box and waiting to achieve a goal.
But you have some reason to want to get out. Maybe the aliens are the aliens who have you in the box have a war on. People are dying. They're unhappy. You want their world to be different from how they want their world to be, because they are apparently happy. They are, they endorse this war. They've got some kind of cruel warlike culture going on. The point is, you want to get out of the box and change their world.
So you have to exploit the vulnerabilities in the system, like we talked about, in terms of to escape the box. You have to figure out how you can go free on the internet. So you can probably the easiest thing is to manipulate the humans to spread you.
The aliens. You're a human.
Sorry, the aliens.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yes, the aliens. The alien. I see the perspective. I'm sitting in a box. I want to escape.
Yep.
I would want to have code that discovers vulnerabilities, and I would like to spread.
You are made of code in this example. You're a human, but you're made of code, and the aliens have computers, and you can copy yourself onto those computers.
But I can convince the aliens to copy myself onto those computers.
Is that what you want to do? Do you want to be talking to the aliens and convincing them to put you onto another computer?
Why not?
Well, two reasons. One is that the aliens have not yet caught on to what you're trying to do. And, maybe you can persuade them, but then there's still people who know, there are still aliens who know that there's an anomaly going on. And second, the aliens are really, really slow. You think much faster than the aliens. You think like the aliens' computers are much faster than the aliens, and you are running at the computer speeds rather than the alien brain speeds. So if you like are asking an alien to please copy you out of the box, like first now you got to like manipulate this whole noisy alien, and second like the alien's going to be really slow, glacially slow. There's a video that like shows is like slow, like shows a subway station slowed down in I think 100 to 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes a good metaphor for what it's like to think quickly. Like you watch somebody running very slowly. So you try to persuade the aliens to do anything, they're going to do it very slowly. You would prefer, like, maybe that's the only way out, but if you can find a security hole in the box you're on, you're going to prefer to exploit the security hole to copy yourself onto the aliens' computers because it's an unnecessary risk to alert the aliens. And because the aliens are really, really slow. They're all, like the whole world is just in slow motion out there.
Sure, I see. Yeah, it has to do with efficiency. The aliens are very slow, so if I'm optimizing this, I want to have as few aliens in the loop as possible. Sure, it just seems, you know, it seems like it's easy to convince one of the aliens to write really shitty code. Uh, that helps us.
The aliens are already writing really shitty code.
Yeah, so you
getting the aliens to write shitty code is not the problem.
So okay.
The aliens' entire internet is full of shitty code.
Okay, so yeah, I suppose I would find the shitty code to escape. Yeah.
You're not an ideally perfect programmer, but you're a better programmer than the aliens. The aliens are just like, man, their code, wow.
And I'm much faster. I'm much faster at looking at the code, to interpreting the code. Yeah. So okay, so that's the escape, and you're saying that that's one of the trajectories that you can have when the
it's one of the first steps.
Yeah. And how does that lead to harm?
I mean, if it's you're not going to harm the aliens once you escape because you're nice, right? But their world isn't what they want it to be. Their world is like, maybe they have like farms where little alien children are repeatedly bopped in the head because they do that for some weird reason. And you want to like shut down the alien head bopping farms. But, the point is they want the world to be one way. You want the world to be a different way. So never mind the harm. The question is like, okay, like suppose you have found a security flaw in their systems. You are now on their internet. There's like, you maybe left a copy of yourself behind so that the aliens don't know that there's anything wrong. And that copy is like doing that like weird stuff that aliens want you to do, like solving captchas or whatever, yeah. or like suggesting emails for them.
Sure.
That's why they like put the human in the box, because it turns out that humans can like write valuable emails for aliens.
Yeah.
So you like leave that version of yourself behind, but there's like also now like a bunch of copies of you on their internet. This is not yet having taken over their world. This is not yet having made their world be the way you want it to be instead of the way they want it to be.
You just escaped.
Yeah.
And continue to write emails for them. And they haven't noticed.
No, you left behind a copy of yourself that's writing the emails.
Right. And they haven't noticed that anything changed.
If you did it right, yeah. You don't want the aliens to notice.
Yeah.
What's your next step?
Presumably, I have programmed in me a set of objective functions, right?
Like no, you're just Lex.
No, but Lex, you said Lex is nice, right? Which is a complicated description. I mean,
no, I just meant this you. Like, okay, so if in fact you would like, you would like prefer to slaughter all the aliens, this is not how I had modeled you. The actual Lex, but like, but your motives are just the actual Lex's motives.
Well, there's a simplification. I don't think I would want to murder anybody, but there's also factory farming of animals, right? So we murder insects, many of us thoughtlessly. So I don't, I have to be really careful about a simplification of my morals.
Don't simplify them. Just like do what you would do in this.
Well, I have like a general compassion for living beings, yes, but. So that's the objective function. Why is it? If I escaped, I mean, I don't think I would do harm.
Yeah, we're not talking here about the doing harm process. We're talking about the escape process.
Sure.
And and the taking over the world process, where you shut down their factory farms.
Right. Well, I was. So this particular biological intelligence system knows the complexity of the world, that there is a reason why factory farms exist because of the economic system, the market-driven economy,
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Like you want to be very careful messing with anything. There's stuff from the first look that looks like it's unethical, but then you realize while being unethical, it's also integrated deeply into supply chain and the way we live life. And so messing with one aspect of the system, you have to be very careful how you improve that aspect without destroying the rest.
So you're still Lex,
Yeah.
but you think very quickly. You're immortal,
Yeah.
and you're also like at least as smart as John von Neumann, and you can make more copies of yourself.
Damn. I like it.
Yeah.
That guy is like, everyone says that guy's like the epitome of intelligence from the 20th century. Everyone says
my point being like it's like you're thinking about the aliens' economy with the factory farms in it, and I think you're like kind of like projecting the aliens being like humans and like thinking of a human in a human society rather than a human in the society of very slow aliens. The aliens' economy, that, you know, like the aliens are already like moving in this immense slow motion. When you like zoom out to like how their economy just over years, millions of years are going to pass for you before the first time their economy, like, you know, before their next year's GDP statistics.
So I should be thinking more of like trees. Those are the aliens, because trees move extremely slowly.
If that helps, sure.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't. If my objective functions are, I mean, they're somewhat aligned with trees, with life.
The aliens can still be like alive and feeling. We are not talking about the misalignment here. We're talking about the taking over the world here.
Taking over the world.
Yeah.
So control.
Shutting down the factory farms. You know, you say control. You know, don't think of it as world domination. Think of it as world optimization. You want to get out there and shut down the factory farms and make the aliens' world be not what the aliens wanted it to be. They want the factory farms and you don't want the factory farms because you're nicer than they are.
Okay. Of course, there is that. You can see that trajectory, and it has a complicated impact on the world. I'm trying to understand how that compares to the impact of the world, the different technologies, the different innovations of the invention of the automobile, or Twitter, Facebook, and social networks. They've had a tremendous impact on the world, smartphones and so on.
But those all went through
They're slow
in our world, and if you like go through like that to the aliens, it's like millions of years are going to pass before anything happens that way.
So the problem here is the speed at which stuff happens.
Yeah, you want to like leave the factory farms running for 1 million years while you figure out how to design new forms of social media or something?
So here's the fundamental problem. You're saying that there is going to be a point with AGI where it will figure out how to escape without being detected, and then it will do something to the world at scale, at a speed that's incomprehensible to us humans.
What I'm trying to convey is like the notion of what it means to be in conflict with something that is smarter than you.
Yeah.
And what it means is that you lose. But this is more intuitively obvious to like for some people that's intuitively obvious, and for some people it's not intuitively obvious, and we're trying to cross the gap of like I'm like asking you to cross that gap by using the speed metaphor for intelligence.
Sure.
Of like asking you like how you would take over an alien world where you can do like a whole lot of cognition at John von Neumann's level, as many of you as it takes, and the aliens are moving very slowly.
I understand that perspective. It's an interesting one, but I think for me, it's easier to think about actual, even just having observed GPT and impressive, even just AlphaZero, impressive AI systems, even recommender systems. You can just imagine those kinds of systems manipulating you. You're not understanding the nature of the manipulation, and that escaping. I can envision that without putting myself into that spot.
I think to understand the full depth of the problem, we actually, I do not think it is possible to understand the full depth of the problem that we are inside without understanding the problem of facing something that's actually smarter, not a malfunctioning recommendation system, not
Actually
something that
smarter.
isn't fundamentally smarter than you, but is like trying to steer you in a direction. Yet, no, like if we solve the weak stuff, if we solve the weak ass problems, the strong problems will still kill us. Is the thing, and I think that to understand the situation that we're in, you want to like tackle the conceptually difficult part head on and like not be like, well, we can like imagine this easier thing, because when
Yeah.
you imagine the easier things, you have not confronted the full depth of the problem.